On the 6th level of the catacombs below the town of Tristram, we find a mythical book surrounded by candles that reads,
"Beyond the Hall of Heroes lies the Chamber of Bone. Eternal death awaits any who would seek to steal the treasures secured within this room. So speaks the Lord of Terror, and so it is written."
After which the wall behind the book disappears as if an illusion is lifted. In the middle of the room lies a great stone staircase heading up into an unknown cavity in the ceiling. We have been warned by the book's passage. This is no doubt a treasure room, well hidden by the Lord of Terror and his minions. Unwilling to ascend the stairs unaided, we seek the knowledge of the townspeople to see if they know if testing the fates and promised eternal death is even worth the supposed treasure that lay therein. Back in town, we seek Adria the Witch by her hut, who is knowledgeable of demons and warns.
"You will become an eternal servant of the Dark Lords should you perish within this cursed domain. Enter the Chamber of Bone at your own peril."
Well, we can't imagine what kind of treasure is worth our soul, or how many poor souls are now servants to the burning hells. Speaking of those touched by the evils below the cathedral, we speak to Farnham, the drunk, who rants.
Okay, so listen. There's this Chamber of Wood, see? And his wife, her, tells the tree, because you gotta wait. Then I says that might work against him, but if you think I'm gonna pay for this, yeah!
Chamber of Wood. Make this happen, Blizzard. Next, we see Pepin the healer, who cautions.
"This sounds like a very dangerous place. If you venture there, please take great care."
Although his advice almost sounds patronizing, we realize it's only because Pep hasn't witnessed the horrors below the cathedral firsthand. Speaking of patronizing, there's this little boy named Wirt with a peg leg. It's made of wood, see, and yeah.
Vast and mysterious treasure, you say? Maybe I could be interested in picking up a few things from you. Or better yet, don't you need some rare and expensive supplies to get you through this ordeal?
He has a point. Chopping demons is expensive. Next, Jillian the barmaid confesses.
"I'm afraid that I haven't heard anything about that. Perhaps Cain the storyteller could be of some help."
We don't expect a barmaid to know the secrets etched in the bowels of the catacombs, and Ogden the innkeeper relates a similar gap in knowledge.
"I'm afraid that I don't know anything about that, good master. Cain has many books that may be of some help."
Before we do see Cain the Elder, we try our hand for a last time with Griswold the blacksmith, but again, he comes up empty-handed.
"Ach, no, nothing of this place. But you may try asking Cain. He talks about many things, and we're not surprised maybe he had some answers to your question."
It seems the devil knows how to keep a secret, so we seek out the wisdom of the elder Deckard Cain by his well, and he recalls.
"A book that speaks of a chamber of human bones? Well, a chamber of bone is mentioned in certain archaic writings that I studied in the libraries of the East. These tomes inferred that when the lords of the underworld desired to protect great treasures, they would create domains where those who died in the attempt to steal that treasure would be forever bound to defend it. A twisted, but strangely fitting end."
It is kind of fitting. Treasure hunters that perish in this chamber of bone are cursed to defend it. But how many were selfish and how many were trying to weaken the forces of hell? Only a fool would steal from the great evils themselves willingly. Realizing our place now as perhaps that fool, we can at least set some poor souls free from this chamber of bone and eternal damnation. Back below the catacombs, we head up the stairs and inside the chamber of bone. As we enter, we round the first stone wall and are immediately confronted by a gaggle of cold death skeletons and their unseen allies. The herd encircles us, stabbing and bashing from all angles with the fervor of a subordinate that lives in constant fear of the wrath of a displeased master. Once the skeletons fall, the hidden appear and try their hand at defending the treasure. Although we realize we need to somehow contend with them one by one, their group attack persists from all sides, but to no avail. Ankle deep in bones and blood, we see a figure moving in the shadows, and as we attempt to trudge forward, we're rushed by a horned demon. Diablo is taking no chances with his trove. The demon felled, and moving into the hall, we're confronted by another unseen and horned demon in front of an entrance that's clearly well guarded.
Not enough mana.
Instead of opening it, we try to investigate and move up the west side, contending with errant skeletons by crucifixes set ablaze in unholy fire that never seems to dim or need fuel. In the light of the cross, we're rushed by several horned demons at once. Their manic movements to end our trespassing fails, but the intensity of their attacks is felt all the same. Above, we find a skeletal lever that opens a door on the east side, and as we move past the cross, its unholy fire licks at our oblique, as if to remind the fury of Diablo's hate burns like unholy fire. On the east side, we find another similar lever that opens a door to our right, and a half score of skeletons start to shuffle out. We push our shield high and bar the doorway, lest we're overwhelmed. Heavily fatigued and remembering an old tale that undead fear holy bolts, we begin casting our paltry spells in succession, and they happen to be super effective. But our mirth doesn't last. As we are not magically inclined, our mana stores are depleted quickly, and we rely again on our tiring sword arm.
Not enough mana.
Clearing the room of skeletons and sneaky unseen, we see a brown chest begging to be plundered. Remarkably, it bears no traps and is full of gold, armor, and weapons, a boon to be sure, but we realize this is too easy, and trinkets and gold alone aren't worthy of Diablo's vanity, sensing that the main room that we passed holds something more valuable and no doubt more deadly. We open the door of the main room to reveal at least 30 undead skeletons staring blankly at us. Are these the fallen treasure hunters who dared cross Diablo? They rush us at the door opening, and as we try to force them back into single file, they push us out more as we slaughter enough just in time to dig our heels into the door frame and go to work. Again, we attempt to leverage our learnt Holy Bolt spell, but it thirstily depletes our mana, and we exclaim,
Not enough mana.
As we contend with the skeletons one by one, a hidden lurks from our flank to the right, trying to break our rhythm so the skeleton fiends can pour out of the opening. Feeling we have the upper hand, we step into the room to see the floor of the chamber is literally comprised of the bones of the fallen, hence its grisly namesake. After finally felling the foes, we begin to pick up the treasure littered about and pause momentarily to see a staff of Holy Bolt had dropped behind us early in the fight, almost mockingly. Feeling deflated that we missed it, we try and pick it up but are out of room in our inventory as more enemies pour in to finish the job.
I have no room.
We successfully clear the room and now can explore the northern section. And as we cross the door, we spot a truant hidden, but as we turn to face it, we're charged by a horned demon who hits us square in the back. A blow that would have no doubt killed us, save for Valor's armor protecting our hide. Another huge demon rushes at us, but we are not caught unaware this time and sidestep at the last second. The super unique Ormlos the Impala goes crashing into the bone wall, swiping at us as we pass. We frantically look for a better ground to fight without more horned ones rushing us from unseen angles. Hiding behind a pillar, we frantically attempt to fix our shield. However, we cannot repair our sword in time as Ormlos hunts us down, and we spring out from behind the pillar using our cleave ability. Ormlos, content to stand its ground, uses its horn in a digging motion upward. Unfortunately, our sword catches a notch at the base of the horn and breaks in hand, and we're left swinging our shield wildly. Desperate, we dive through a town portal to recover and regain our bearings. Back in town, we sell all the trinkets and weapons found in the chamber, knowing the only thing that matters is our armor and our own weapons intact, and the grace of the heavens to give us strength. Just not holy magic, unfortunately. Broken blade in hand, Griswold, clucking his tongue as he eyes us coming, says cheerily,
"Whoa, what can I do for you?"
Once repaired and restocked on our potions, we don't worry too much about mana and get ready to go to work the only way we know how. Through the portal, Ormlos awaits. We hear other enemies milling about and move quickly, managing to eliminate him just in time and picking up a tidy 600 gold off his corpse before his allies can rout us. We contend with the last of the demons and finally lay our hands on the Staff of Holy Bolt, only to be rushed by another horned demon catching us unaware. Though quelling the assault, we can't help but think, can we ever catch a break in this place? Every single piece of loot here is either cursed or has some kind of catch. We seem to either be too late or $1 short with our magics, and our own gear disintegrates rapidly after using it to get at a promised diabolical treasure. Still, we press on with the promise that there is a reward waiting at the end. In the barely lit northernmost room, it is all but quiet. There's no treasure chest or enemies in sight, save a lone book on a pedestal called the Ancient Tome. We cautiously read aloud the words, and a 3-headed hydra springs forth. Readying ourselves, we realize it doesn't attack us, and we feel arcane energy gained somehow by reading the book. Heading back out of the room, we realize this is the promised treasure and fill our mana stores excitedly, now with a supernatural ally at hand, and begin to cast the Guardian spell and...
Not enough mana.
Of course, the gift we received for our ordeal was beyond our grasp, just like everything in that accursed chamber. As if we hear Diablo himself laughing at our misfortune, we vow to never return to the Chamber of Bone or any promised treasure of a primeval, and will always remember the quote, "All that glitters is not gold."